Hello guys, welcome back to the Sportsman's Road to Wembley, and today we have come down to Wrexham ahead of their FA Cup tie with Championship side Blackburn Rovers on Monday night. We've caught up with Phil Parkinson, manager here at Wrexham. We've also spoken to a few key members of the Blackburn Rovers team ahead of this crucial fourth round clash. Phil, you obviously beat Coventry away last year in the Cup and competed with Sheffield United. Do you think there's a real belief in the squad now that they can compete with these Championship teams, maybe on a more regular basis?
Yeah, well, I think evidence suggests we have done that, but it's my job now to remind the lads what we need to replicate and make sure the fact that the narrative is out there. We've done that. Yeah, we have, but we're going to be reminding the players how we beat Coventry, what we did against Sheffield United, the manner of those performances, and our aim on Monday is to play with that spirit and quality. I think that's really important because if you go to teams above you in the league and you give them the ball back all the time, their creative players will eventually make something happen. We've got to go there with belief that we've got good footballers who can pass the ball and have periods of possession. Everything's got to be aligned to create a cup upset, and we'll be giving it everything.
Some of these players have played at a higher level before. Do you think there's a case within the squad of them wanting to prove themselves, that they're still able to perform at kind of Championship League on that?
Yeah, I think so. Without doubt, I think there's players in the team who've been there and come back to this level. I wouldn't say they've dropped to this level because of nobody else wanted them at higher level. They've come on board to this club to be part of this story, but of course there's always a burning desire in the players like an Elliot Lee who says, I can live in this company, and I'm sure he'll show that on Monday.
In your career, you've been somewhat of a cup expert, wins with Watford, taking them to the League Cup final, beating Chelsea. Do you think there's a particular reason for that, or is it just you being a wonderful manager?
I think it's instilling belief in the group. That's the key. So the belief, but the understanding that the belief has got to be in conjunction with the underdog fighting spirit as well. Because when you go to Chelsea, of course they've got a higher calibre of players. We know that to beat those players, we've got to be ready to ruffle the feathers of the opposition. And so instilling the belief, setting a game plan out and getting a buy-in from the group to stick to that game plan. And Monday will be no different. For us to win the game, we've started the preparation today in how we feel Blackburn will play and what we need to do well against them. And that's really exciting for myself and Steve and Dave Jones and Aidan Davis, the management team, to set ourselves out against this better opposition, a higher class of manager who's played at the top level. Can we set a game plan up to give Blackburn as many problems as possible on the night?
And how do you think you've grown personally as a manager over the last kind of decade?
Good question.
Yeah,
I'd like to say I'm calmer, but probably not. I think I've probably learned to enjoy the job a lot more. Because sometimes, certainly when you start manager, it's an absolute whirlwind. You can't believe how all-encompassing managing is. It really does take over your life. It's non-stop, and sometimes I think you're in every single day. When I was at Colchester, I never had a day off. But as I've grown more experience, I've learned you have to have those days away where you have time to reflect and let decisions come to you more. I think that's probably the biggest aspect.
And this is definitely a job interview question, but where do you see yourself and this football club in 5 years' time?
It's a good question. Where do I see the club? Obviously we're ambitious to progress. We've got an opportunity this season to be part of the promotion race. We kind of set out to get to January in a challenging position. We've done that. So of course we're just looking at the second part of the season. The club itself is developing in a lot of areas. The new stand coming up, training facilities, etc. There's a lot of work commercially going on in the background, and yeah, I'm enjoying being a part of that, and hopefully it continues.
So Arthur, how have you found your loan spell at Wrexham so far on all?
Yeah, it's been good. Obviously, I joined in September, not playing at first. Had a plan with the gaffer about slowly integrating me within the squad and getting used to my environment first. And yeah, I've been fortunate enough to be in the squad, and we've done well overall, I'd say. But yeah, I'm having loads of fun playing week in, week out. Wins and loss, just all an experience for me, which I'm taking on.
And how would you compare this loan spell to your other loan spells you've had in your career?
I'd say in England, I've obviously been here and Crewe, obviously the same league, so they're quite similar. Obviously, Wrexham has much more exposure because of the owners and stuff like this. So yeah, there's been a big difference between Crewe and Wrexham, just in exposure-wise. But the league is quite similar, and obviously more fans here. But I'd say my European exposure has been a bit different. Different sort of fan base, different sort of crowds you get, different sort of football. But yeah, I've enjoyed all three, and yeah, just see how much more I can do.
Blackburn's come in the Cup on Monday, 7,000 Wrexham fans following you there. Is this a great chance for you to test yourself against Championship opposition?
Yeah, definitely. I think we have a bunch of lads who don't really fear anyone. So yeah, I think we're all going to go there and give it our best, and we go there with full confidence, and hopefully make some magic happen.
This club's had cup success throughout its history, but also last season being a couple of Championship teams. Can you feel the belief within the squad this week leading up to this Blackburn game?
Yeah, I think I'd say from my experience being here, I think this team needs just a little bit of fire. Sometimes we lost against Newport away, which is a big game. I do believe that you give this team a bit of fire, a bit of something to motivate them. It can push us on forwards instead of backwards. So yeah, I think I'm personally confident that our team can get a good result against Blackburn. But yeah, just have to wait and see.
And Wrexham have tried a few different keepers this season. Obviously, you've come in and taken the shirt for now. What's it been like to work with the other keepers in the squad, and have you learned anything from them?
Yeah, I'd say the most experienced goalkeeper in our squad is obviously Trump. He's like a dad. And yeah, you take on board whatever he says, really, because he's obviously played through the ranks. He's actually from Arsenal Academy, just like me. So yeah, it's great. It's great to have him by my side and take in some of his experience. And yeah, I think it helps the other goalkeepers as well. I think we're all learning, me, Luke and Liam, we're learning our trades. So yeah, it's good to have a goalkeeper like that around.
And what's the most difficult thing about being a lone player? And you've been on three different loans so far. Is there any real trouble you have with it, or are you quite comfortable being a lone player at this point?
I'd say for any young player going on loan, it's always difficult moving away from home, being away from family for quite long periods of time. But you do get used to it. You learn how to live alone, and yeah, I enjoy it. But I know for some players it's difficult. But I think everyone's different, so I think it depends who you ask.
Cooking for yourself, how's it going?
I'm all right. I'll tell you. Right.
Not pot noodles?
No, not pot noodles, nah. I'm getting better.
Yeah.
I've been away from home for almost a year and a half now, so yeah, I am getting better.
And did you have any conversations with the senior staff at Arsenal about Wrexham before you joined? Was this a club specifically picked for you with where they're going at this moment in time?
Yes, I spoke to my assistant goalie coach at Arsenal, and he told me a bit about the club and his experience with the club. And obviously Wrexham is a project and it's a team looking to go up. So yeah, I thought when the gaffer spoke to me and what the team's plan was, it was quite similar to mine. Trying to progress and move forward. I knew it was the right move.
And finally from me, have you got kind of a vision of where you want to be in 5 years' time with your career? Would that be breaking through into the Arsenal team or perhaps succeeding elsewhere in the pyramid?
For me, it's just trying to play at the highest level that I can. I want to be at the top. I see myself at the top in 5 years. So that's something I look for. That's my personal goal. But yeah, just have to work now.
And aspirations for England as well. You've made a few youth appearances, haven't you? So is there aspirations to keep working your way up through the England ranks as well?
Yeah, definitely. I think with the international stuff, I think I'm still quite young. I have 2 nationalities I can play for, Nigeria and England. So yeah, I'm just trying to work hard within my team, and maybe one day I can be selected for either one of them.
Owen, pleasure to be joined by you today. It's coming up to a year now since you joined Wrexham. How would you sum up that year for you on a personal level?
Yeah, really enjoyable. I think the last few months have been frustrating, obviously with injury, but I think really enjoyable. Came here to, obviously with the aim to get promotion, and we did that. And yeah, I think obviously if you look at it on the team, we're having a really good season. I haven't obviously played as much of a part as I'd like so far, but the lads have been great, and I'm just looking forward to hopefully getting back in and helping them.
And how does it compare to the other clubs you've been at in terms of, obviously there's a big media spotlight on this, Rob and Ryan, the whole of that. Is that something that affects you kind of day to day, or are you just focusing on the football?
Not really, no, to be honest. I think it obviously, there's a huge buzz around the club. The atmosphere at games every weekend is rocking, and like you said, there's obviously a lot of stuff going on, but yeah, to be honest, it doesn't really affect me. It's not something that I really think about too much, and I think that's the good thing about the club, where it's almost they make it easy for us as players, obviously with all the stuff going on, but they make it easy for us to just go and do our job, really.
You're near an age now where you're probably in the peak of your career from an outsider. Is that something you feel? I know you've been injured a bit this season. Is that something you feel in terms of performance level and experience?
Definitely, yeah. I think, I feel like I'm coming into that age now where, it's obviously an important part of my career, but yeah, I feel really good at the moment. I think I've obviously just come back, but I've had a good pre-season and trained hard, and sometimes you just have to go through a period, obviously, of injury like that. It's just the way it is in the game, and yeah, I'm just really excited to be back in with the lads now and kicking on. And like you say, yeah, hopefully the peak years of my career.
Good time to kick on. Blackburn to come away in the FA Cup. 7,000 fans following you. Is it a great chance for you to test yourself against Championship level opposition?
Yeah, I think so. I've played in these cup games before against teams at higher levels, and they're really good games and really exciting. Like you said, taking a big following and really exciting for the club and for all the players. And it's a game you can look forward to. And obviously there's always pressure to perform, and we're just excited to go there and see how we get on.
And this club obviously had success in the FA Cup last year. Is that something you felt from within the squad and a real belief there? Yeah,
talking to the lads, I came in between the Sheffield United games, and
so just before they lost.
Yeah. So it was like there was obviously a great buzz, and the lads really enjoyed it, and yeah, it was. I think the FA Cup's obviously a special competition for everyone at the club, supporters and players, and everyone enjoys the day out. And when you advance into the rounds, it's really good.
And again, compared to other clubs you've been at, is the level in training, do you think, higher at Wrexham than a few of the other clubs you've been at? Can you really see the quality in the squad?
Yeah, I think so. I think I've known quite a lot of the lads from over the years and playing against them and stuff like that. But I think it's just. It's a lot down to the manager and the staff as well. I think they bring the best out of the players, and they provide a really good environment for us to train in, and I think that brings the best out of the players. And some lads obviously will say it's the most enjoyable place, and it is. I think everyone likes coming in and going to work every day, and it's really enjoyable, and long may it continue.
And touching on Phil Parkinson, just spoke to him before. He's a bit of a cup expert. Is that something that you feel within the squad? He seems to be able to set up a team brilliantly for a one-off cup game.
Yeah, I think so. Well, I think he sets us up in a way to try and win every game, and I think obviously that might rub off in the cup because the games can be a bit more open or whatever. But yeah, it obviously has a very good record in the cup, I think, at previous clubs as well. So yeah, maybe you're right.
And a word on the Wrexham fans, 7,000 of them going to Blackburn. How much are you looking forward to playing in front of them, and how much do you enjoy playing here at the racecourse?
Yeah, brilliant. I think the atmosphere here especially is incredible, and even the away games, and you go to some of the grounds where they might not have the capacity, but it's still, the fans are incredible and create a really good atmosphere. And 7,000 going away to Blackburn on a Monday night is incredible, and we're all excited for it.
And finally from me, do you see this as a place that you're only 28, don't want to talk about retirement too soon, but do you see this as a place where you can succeed for the long term and maybe finish your career?
I'd like to think so. I think, I've obviously signed a long deal here, so, I'm really excited, and, we had a good first year, and I'm just excited to continue. I never really look too far ahead in my career because I know what football is like. You never know what's around the corner, so I haven't really thought long term, but I love it here. I'm really, really enjoying playing, and I'm just hopefully it can continue, and yes, like you say, carry on.
So the Wrexham players and manager Phil Parkinson are up for this FA Cup 4th round tie, but now let's go to Blackburn Rovers and see what they've got to say ahead of this huge encounter. Hi guys, welcome back to the Sportsman. I'm delighted to be joined by Blackburn boss Jon Dahl Tomasson. Jon, how are you doing today?
Very fine, thank you.
First off, we've got an FA Cup game coming up on Monday now, Wrexham coming to town. Does this feel like a bit of a break from the league for you, and will your players be able to kind of focus on cup football now?
Now, first of all, we love cup football here at Rovers. We had an excellent run last season in both cups, and this season we had a good run in the Carabao Cup as well. First of all, we are playing for the honour. Second of all, we want to create that togetherness with our fans, which we can do with the cup. A new storytelling, and in the end of the day, I think if you look at last season and this season, the club I think earned more than 3 million, which is needed in a difficult situation at Rovers.
And have you assessed Wrexham so far? Potential banana skin, obviously going well in League Two at the moment.
They've done a brilliant job. I know that they won against Coventry last season, and against Sheffield United they drew last season before they lost in the replay, and they're doing really well. And all the credit to them. They're bringing more than 7,000 fans on a Monday night. That says enough about that storytelling. Football is, of course, passion, winning games, love of the game, but it's also entertainment. So we're really looking forward for that game.
You're looking forward to appearing on Disney Plus for Welcome to Wrexham, the famous show that's been coming out. You're looking forward to starring on that, maybe?
I'm looking forward to play a FA Cup game. Should we say it in that?
Talking of your cup success last year, Blackburn did very well in the cups. Do you think you can take that cup success from last year and use the experience you had there and bring it into these sorts of games and a cup run maybe this year as well?
No, you're totally right. We shouldn't forget the cup runs in both cup last season. We won against lower team. We won against Premier League side, Giant Killers. This season we did really well in the Carabao Cup as well. And so far we have done well, no matter which team we played. We scored a lot of goals. We entertained the crowd as well. And we would love to go through and have an excellent cup run again.
Transfer window is coming to a close, coming to the final week. Could you give us a bit of an update on Adam Wharton and there's a bid come in that's been rejected, I understand. Is there any more to that story from your point of view?
Now, we all know, of course, this, the project changed in the summer. It's a new project here with the financial situation, so the club have had a really difficult time. I think it's going a little bit better now, and it's true. Of course, players want Adam Wharton. When I came here last season, I put him immediately into the first selection for the first group, and I've seen it on the development the boy have made in those 18 months I worked with him. It's been really good. He's from a very good family as well, and if you look at the quality that Adam has on the ball, is Champions League level. I coach on Champions League level. I played myself on Champions League level, so I will know that. But the boy wants to become better, and he's actually also during this season becoming better. So this is something very exciting, and I understand the clubs want to buy him. If I was a Premier League manager as well, I would buy him immediately. But of course, we can't sell a player too cheap with that quality. So the market value is extremely important to get the right amount of money in for a player that quality. The good thing with Adam, because one day he will go away. Hopefully not now, but one day he will go away, is that we always can follow him as Rover fans. He's one of our own. And
you speak about Champions League quality, and I was going to ask, where do you think his career will take him? Is he good enough to play at the very highest level in the Champions League, as you say?
If you look at the quality that the boy has at the moment, and the quality, and I think that's important, the decision making, but also that he's able to learn and he wants to learn. that's important because when you hire you come, the competition will be tougher, but there's good quality. And as I said, he's from a very good family as well, which is important. So I think he can go all the way.
And another player who's been slightly linked with a move away is Sam Gallagher. Just how important is he to your Blackburn Rovers team at the moment?
Now, Sam has been injured the whole season, more or less. He's been injured for 4 months. Now he's back. And I'm really happy to have the only senior striker who's played on this level, who's proven at this level. So it's great to have Sam back. And I can't imagine that the club will weaken the squad.
And you did bring a new player in, Conor O'Riordan, this week. He's obviously cup-tied for this game. Do you see him coming straight into the 11 when he is fit, or will he have to prove himself a bit?
Now, first of all, I think it's very good that the club is buying a new player. We need that. We lost numbers in the summer. We lost defenders in the summer. We lost scoring capacity in the summer and experience as well. But to buy a young player who played a lot of league game at his age is really good, and it will be an asset for the club in the future. But of course, we still need to get experience in. We know that. I know that. The club know that. Our fans know that. I think our fans knew what we needed to get into the summer, and hopefully the club can manage to get it in now.
Do you have an idea of a number of players you'd like to bring in before the window closes this month?
I had an idea in the summer what we needed to bring in, and of course with that new project and a financial situation, it didn't happen. Hopefully they can manage it now, but we need to wait and see what the club is able to do.
And Blackburn are in a bit of an interesting position at the minute where they're, I think, 10 points off the playoffs, 9 points off relegation, or the other way around, I'm not too sure. Is it a case for you now of thinking you can still, close the gap onto those playoff places, or is it a case of you feeling like you need to just avoid relegation and maybe build again next season?
Now, first of all, we had an excellent November month, a brilliant November month. Then we had a poor December month. And January, so far, 2024 has started with 2 draws, 1 win and a loss. Now we want to win against Wrexham. So January could actually also be a very good month. But we shouldn't forget that our CEO said in the summer, first and foremost, is to stay in the league this season, the expectation, and develop players. Of course, something to do with the financial situation which the club is in.
And personally for yourself, when you are going through a bit of a sticky run of form, how do you cope personally and not let it affect things in your everyday life?
No, it's quite simple. I'm very direct. When we play a poor game, it's poor. But if you've done a lot of good things and we even lost that game, everything is not poor then, huh? Then you've done a lot of good things as a team. And it's true that we had a tough December month. Quite simple, because we didn't have enough numbers. The squad, less number of players played, used to playing on this level with that intensity as well. Some of those games we could have won, but we were of course missing option as well for the bench, because the squad was extremely stretched. So I'm very realistic about the opportunity and what we can do or what we can't.
A few fun questions to finish with, I hope. If you could pick one player from Blackburn's history who's played for Blackburn in the past to come into your squad now.
Alan Shearer.
Easy.
I think everybody would choose him in the world, not only at Rovers, but everybody in the world. What a legend, huh? For English football.
Incredible player. You think you'd be able to get the best out of him?
I think he can manage that himself, huh?
Also, would you rather, in your career, manage one of the major sides in Europe, a Real Madrid or a Barcelona, or would you rather get promoted to the Premier League with Blackburn?
Oh, that's a very good question. First of all, I'm enjoying working with this team because they want to become better. It's a very young team, but the attitude and the mentality that they want to become better is great. Of course, in the end of the day, I want to win games as well. You probably also want to win games. Player wants to win games. We're ambitious. I'm ambitious as well. But first of all, it's about doing the best every day. And we do that here at Rovers.
I had a question from a Blackburn fan in the office, and he simply wanted to know what your favourite flavour of crisps is. Are you a crisp eater?
That's quite easy.
Yeah?
Yeah, I love crisp and I eat way too much and I like everything.
Everything? All
everything.
Oh, Monster
Just
Munch,
hit me with
onion.
crisp and I will be happy.
And finally, are you watching The Traitors on BBC? Have you heard of this programme? Are you watching it?
You like that new release we had the other day?
Yes, whoever did that on the social media team, brilliant job.
I think it was very creative.
Yeah.
I'm of course Danish, so I don't know all of the knowledge about it, but I actually saw it before it went out, and I thought our media team did an excellent job.
So, Sammy, Wrexham to come in the FA Cup on Monday night. How much are you looking forward to that game? And big crowd, hopefully.
Yeah, it's going to be a big game. Hopefully, FA Cup. Hopefully, there's not an upset. We're looking forward to it. It's going to be a tough game. I know they're a League Two team, but they're a big team. They've got great players. They've brought a good following. Hopefully, we can back it, and it'll be a great game for the neutrals, and we're looking to get the win. And
how do you go into this as the favourites, as you say, as the Championship team?
Yeah, we just take it as every game. We know their qualities. They're a good team. They're doing really well this year, and got a lot of respect for Wrexham. How they're doing it, and we've got to make sure we're on it because they are a good team. We've got to make sure that we're on the ball and we're doing the things we're good at. It's been a bit of a sticky festive period for us. But hopefully we do all the right things and we get the win on Monday.
And what do you make of Wrexham and the celebrity involvement and all of that that's been going on there from an outside point of view?
Yeah, I think it's good. I think especially for fans, people love to see what's going on inside football, inside the the grounds of training grounds, and I think what they're doing is brilliant. Obviously they're making good money on it. They've got the Netflix stuff, and I think it's brilliant. It's something that it would be good if we got it here. It would be quite interesting, but. I think it would be. I think what they're doing is really good.
You're looking forward to potentially starring on Disney Plus on Monday night.
This
a couple of goals.
Yeah, people keep saying about being on Disney. Just it'd be good.
And top goal scorer in the Championship at the moment. Obviously a brilliant season for you. How much has your game changed from say last season to this season? And why do you think you're scoring so many goals?
It's just a lot of freedom. I'm sort of playing the same role. The manager's put a lot of trust in me, and I'm repaying him with the goals. Nothing's really changed in terms of how we do things. We still play the same. It's just he's just given me that more freedom, to get higher up the pitch. And we lost some experienced lads in the summer, and their goals needed replacing. And luckily, I've stepped up to the mark, and hopefully, I can score many more.
And as you mentioned, a bit of a sticky run of form at this current moment in time. What do you think needs to change around the dressing room or on the pitch to turn it around?
Yeah, I think we're putting in good performances and we're not maybe just getting the results, but that needs to change at some point. I think it's 1 in 11 or 1 in 10 we've actually won, and at the end of the season you don't look at the performances you've put in, you look at the results. And at the minute we're putting in the performances and not getting the results. So we need to stick together, maybe get a couple more experienced lads into the door. January is a bit of a mad window. Things can happen late on, so we've all just got to stick together and keep working hard, and I'm sure the results will come.
And how's the manager dealing with the poor run of form in training and things?
Yeah, he's working on bits we need to work on. Obviously I'm not going to say what, but we're going into detail and we're really working hard at that. We've already improved this week. He sort of stripped it all back and we've got back to basics, and this is what he wants to work on, and we're working on it. Today's probably one of the hardest sessions and the longest sessions I've had in my career. He's really stuck it on it this week. And it's working. We know where we need to improve. The manager's keeping calm. He's just making sure that everyone's together, because that's the most important thing at the minute. If you stay together as a team, the results will come, and hopefully it comes Monday.
And do you enjoy those kind of longer sessions you touched on today, working hard? Do you kind of get a lot out of it?
Yeah, because obviously sometimes I'm not the only one that will say it. Sometimes football sessions can be boring. When you've got Tuesday, Saturday games, it's not really working. It's more tactical stuff. It's standing around working on the opposition. It's very tough. So the little sessions are small-sided games that, I call them little sessions because they're little sessions within a big one. Like today's session was like 2 hours. It's good because, you get paid for it. You go out there, everyone loves football. You're working on different aspects of the game. So sometimes the longer ones are a bit more enjoyable.
What would you say Jon Dahl Tomasson's greatest strength is as a manager?
I think his man management's really good. You know where you stand, while you're not playing, and if you are playing. He makes it very clear, and even the principles and the way he wants to do things. When you first join a club, it's very different. Especially when I joined here, the manager asks a lot of players, and to begin with, it's quite confusing. But when you actually strip it back, it's quite basic what he wants you to do, and all the boys get it. And that's why he's come in. And last season we was really firing because he plays a way that a lot of managers don't. A lot of people, say how good a team we are. We just need the results to back it up now.
And I'm going to finish with hopefully a couple of lighter questions here. So starting with, who's the worst dressed in the changing room?
Lewis Travis was. He's actually gone on loan to it. So
yeah.
I always give him that one. It's definitely him.
What was he rocking up in?
He just always wear tracks. I know I can't speak. I'm in a tracksuit now, but he would wear tracksuits that are either too small or too tight for him. I like my gear pretty tight, but his was silly tight. So I'm going to go with him.
And you mentioned also Wrexham celebrity owners. If you could pick anyone in the celebrity world to take over at Blackburn and rock up to your games, who would you pick?
I'd have to go like an ex-footballer, I think.
Yeah.
I'm a West Ham fan, so it'd have to be like a Mark Noble or someone coming in. That'd be brilliant.
Not Danny Dyer?
Maybe Danny Dyer, yeah. But everyone would be a bit scared of him. But I think I'm not really into the film sort of stuff, so it'd have to be an ex-footballer.
Are you watching The Traitors at the moment?
No,
on BBC?
I'm not.
Is everyone talking about it in the dressing room?
No, that's why I got confused with when we done the new signing. Was actually done the traitors thing. I was like, what is? I've got no idea what that is. But no one's even speaking about it, to be fair, which is weird because everyone's speaking about Love Island. So that sums up what it's like here.
And then last question from me: what's it like living up north, and what's the best thing about living up north since you moved?
What's it like living up north?
Cold.
It's freezing. Yeah, it is cold. I went back to Essex 2 days ago, and it's cold, but it's nowhere near as cold as this. But we've climatised, shall I say? But I enjoy it. It's a good 4.5 hours away from where I grew up. So it's, I've moved around in my career. When I went to Bristol, Peterborough, and Manchester, I live is probably one of the nicest places I've ever lived. Always liked to go to Manchester. My missus always wanted to live there, so we live in Manchester now with our little girl and a newborn on the way. We love it. It's a lovely place to live. It's a little bit like London, but the main thing I'd say difference is the weather. It's never really sunny here, or it rains, and you see the northern boys are the ones in shorts and t-shirts, and everyone else is in coats and trousers. So, but no, I love it.
And the last thing I'll chuck in is you were obviously at Peterborough, and the chairman there is Darren McAntony. He's obviously quite vocal on Twitter and things. What was your relationship like with him, and what was it like when Peterborough sold you?
Yeah, so it was good. It was good initially. It was good. Got on really well with him when I was there, and then it's always been good. Obviously, when you leave, it gets difficult because I wanted to leave the football club. He obviously wanted a certain amount of money for me to leave the football club. You don't see eye to eye. You argue. I know I had a couple of arguments with him on Twitter, obviously in the DMs. But I've got utmost respect for Darren McAntony. He eventually allowed me to come here, and I still speak to him now. I still stay in contact with him. He wishes my partner well, my little girl well. I always feel welcome back to Peterborough. Peterborough's one of my best times, to be fair, under Darren Ferguson when we got promoted to the Championship. It's one of my favourite times in my whole career, and Darren McAntony was a big part of that. So him and Barry Fry, I get on really well with them, and I wish them nothing but success in the future.
And having a young daughter or something, how's that changed you as a player, or has it made football more or less important?
It's a tough one because it's a bit of both. It makes football more important because you want to make them proud. She's only 2, but she loves coming to the football games in her kit. But it does make it less important as well because the main focus now is not me and my missus, it's on her. She's been brilliant. It's quite funny. She's got a bit of an Essex Manchester accent. She's at nursery up here, so she's got a bit of a weird accent. But it just puts things into perspective when you have a daughter or a son. Football obviously is so important, but everything you do is for them now.
Hopefully she can see you score a hat-trick on Disney when that comes out.
Yeah, that would be good.
Thanks a lot for joining us.
Thanks a lot.
Cheers. So that's it from us at Blackburn Rovers. We've spoken to Jon Dahl Tomasson, who's looking forward to this cup tie against Wrexham on Monday night. We'll be back for the next episode of the Sportsman's Road to Wembley, where we'll follow another team on the path to the final.